China's rapid economic growth slowed in the latest quarter. According to newly released official figures, the world's second largest economy grew by 9.6% in the July to September quarter over a year earlier, down from 11.9% in the first quarter and 10.3% in the second quarter. Analysts said the slowdown in growth reflected a clampdown on bank lending and real estate investment. Yet they also pointed out that the 9.6% figure could be misleading, since it was arrived at through comparison with a relatively high figure for the same quarter in the year before.
The moderate slowdown of the economic growth rate in the third quarter of this year is mainly because the figure of last year was at a relatively high base, and it is also a result of the macroeconomic control measures we have taken this year.
The figures also show that inflation was up, with consumer prices rising 3.6% compared to a year ago, a development that the central bank took measures to counter by raising its benchmark interest rate on Tuesday. Last year, China embarked on a huge stimulus to help it rebound from the global crisis. With this now winding down, the government says it wants to guide the expansion of the economy down to what it calls a slower and more sustainable pace. On Monday, the parties ruling in a circle issued a new plan for the economy for the next 5 years. It called for more equal growth between China's rich cities and its poor countryside, and growth driven more by domestic consumption and less by exports and investment. Some analysts say China can look forward to slower growth in future, reflecting a new and more mature stage in its economic development. But others disagree. They point out that in the past decade, growth has consistently overshot predictions and government targets.
Growth slowed in the course of this year, but I think it will speed up in successive quarters in 2011. This stage in China's development, characterized by high saving, high investment and high growth, still has another 10 or 20 years to run. Even with growth running at about 9% each year, our economy should overtake America's in size in about 15 years.
According to the International Monetary Fund, China is on track for a staggering 10.5% growth overall in 2010, far outpacing 4.5% growth for the global economy as a whole. Stephen Rebay, Press TV, Beijing, China.